of the huge world that you'll be exploring as of December 4th. The world of Solis. Taking inspiration from South America, Solis is the most diverse and memorable landscape that Just Cause has ever had. There's a vast array of unique landmarks that you can discover and explore. It is incredibly tempting to take a buggy ride through the dusty desert at sunset, or hike up a humid hill in the rainforest, and simply get lost in the gorgeous atmosphere. Avalanche Studios have really gone back to the roots of Just Cause, and now has a map that will excite your curiosity no matter where you look. This rich South American-inspired setting introduces 4 distinct biomes comprising of rainforest, grasslands, desert, and alpine. How do these different biomes alter the way you play? These biomes have various vertical opportunities. Plateaus, mountains, and canyons mix up the terrain. They also need to cater to places where it's fun to drive and use the new vehicles. From rolling hills to sand dunes to a brand new interstate with no speed limits. So, let's explore each biome. Heavily inspired by the Andes, the alpine biome is harsh and hostile. If you're trying to beat that personal best for the longest continuous wingsuit run, the alpine is the place to trial it. The feeling of flying through a freezing valley and being totally encapsulated by towering mountains is an unrivaled sensation and a distinctly different experience from any other part of the world. The twisting roads make for an interesting journey by car, but you've got to give the snowmobile a go and smash through the snowy plains. There's even a unique train journey that chugs along the rail tracks. Why not hop aboard? This extreme weather in the alpine region comes in the form of roaring blizzards. Fierce winds and strict visibility makes for one mean weather type. Here we are in the tropical, humid lands of the rainforest. It's massive, and is actually the largest of all the regions in Just Cause 4. With various layers to its canopy, this will alter the way you move around the biome. The thick pockets of forest means wingsuiting through the midsection will be difficult. So instead of flying low, stretch up high above the canopy for a more open, easier way to travel. The boundless trees are a great option to use when grappling onto and initially lifting yourself up into the sky. The extreme weather type that roams the rainforest biome are the tropical storms. These storms are daunting, green-tinged pockets of destruction, with fault lightning that will strike the highest point in the sky. Now we're taking a trip to the calm, serene climate of the grasslands. This biome takes its inspiration from the Pampas in Argentina, but has been injected with true Just Cause verticality, and is mostly developed towards agriculture with stretches of corn, wheat, and other grains. This is the most populated part of Solis, with everything from vast cities and towering skyscrapers to bustling farmlands and fields. Driving the buggy or the ATV over these hills is insanely fun. Even sticking to the roads is a blast with the interstate, where you can race in supercars thanks to no speed limit. And I hope you're ready to take tons of screenshots, because the vistas from the highlands of the rest of Solis are truly some of the most stunning views in the entire game. You could argue that the extreme weather in the grasslands needs no introduction. One word: tornadoes. The devastating, swirling vortex lives in the valleys and will consume, destroy, and rip up anything in its path. once lush grasslands have since dried out and have turned into a hostile and dry wilderness. The smallest of all the biomes, it is a mixture between areas of smooth sand dunes and rougher, rockier bands. It almost looks like an alien planet, a whole new world. The wide open spaces, few roads, and drifting sand dunes are perfect for a cross-country buggy ride across the desert. Of course, this being Just Cause 4, you can attach some boosters on the back for rocket-fast transportation. In the desert, we don't need roads, you make your own path. The open desert is also an air vehicle playground, so feel free to use helicopters and planes wherever you want. As all the biomes, the desert is also a great example of finding curiosities in all directions. It begs the question, where do I go next? The answer is entirely up to you. This extreme weather type affects visibility massively. It's very hard to see who you're fighting, where you're driving, and what you're doing.
We really wanted to go big on variation, and so there's 4 different distinct biomes in the world of Solis. It's a fictional South American island we've created for Just Cause 4. And so the 4 biomes, as you can see here in the video playing, we've got a desert biome, we have a rainforest, grasslands, and an alpine region. And we also have 2 to 3 sub-biomes. Those biomes are these transitionary areas between the different regions. Again, we going for that variety as you're wingsuiting through the world to make sure everything feels very fresh and different.
Well, I mean, I'm sorry, I got distracted by this amazing B-roll that we're watching.
So pretty.
Obviously, you know, Just Cause is known for these massive open worlds and traversal, and vehicles are coming back in a really big way. Omar, what are some of the cool things that I'm going to get to drive?
I mean, we have all kinds of new vehicles this time. There's one up in the air, being airlifted by our new grappling hook. We have industrial vehicles, we have sports muscle vehicles, obviously we have jets, helicopters, lions, tigers, bears, oh my. But the most interesting thing about all the vehicles this time around is that they all have some sort of secondary functionality. So we have like heavy loaders, dump trucks, magnetized sky cranes where you can pick things up and bring them to one side of the world. It kind of goes on and on and on. But yeah, variation's a big theme of Just Cause 4. So what a device or a vehicle primarily does, it always comes with some sort of secondary function. So you can discover that as you play the game.
I'm guessing that secondary function is usually in service of blowing things up or throwing things around, right?
Yeah. Or taking care of lawn maintenance. That helps too, you know.
Sure, mowing the lawn.
Yeah, the grasslands, rainforest, that needs to happen.
We're seeing a little bit of weather in this clip that's on screen right now. You guys have like a whole new systemic weather system in Just Cause 4.
Yeah, that's right. So with each of these biomes, we wanted to bring an extreme weather for Rico to play around in. Here we're showing off our lightning storm. Basically, because the game is so vertical, we wanted to give some really fun challenges to players on how they handle that verticality when they've got this extreme weather going on. And all of these weather types, we have we've shown the tornado previously, of course. Here's our lightning storm. We've got a couple of things as well in the other regions. But these are actually weather simulations based off of real weather systems.
Super real.
Very realistic, yeah.
Very real.
Super real.
That's just how weathermen do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, and so again, all of these are systemic. So if you think, you know, like lightning should function where it hits the highest point, that means it probably will. And that's how all of our weather systems, and we try really hard with all of our physics systems to keep true to that.
And you guys have this awesome Apex engine that you guys have created specifically for this. Can you tell us a little bit about how that engine works and why it makes this awesome destruction and chaos possible?
Yeah.
Sure. So the Apex engine is sort of like the culmination of 15 years of open world sandbox.
Hello, I'm Omar Shakir, the native director at Avalanche Studios New York, working on Just Cause 4. In our new game, Rico Rodriguez will hunt down the truth about his past on this fictional South American world of Solis. You'll still use Rico's wingsuit and parachute for traversal, but now we've added new wind currents. They enable you to glide through the world wherever you see them. Let's take a look at Rico's new grappling hook. All of its functionality from the previous games returns, but we've added multiple new features, including the ability to customize different loadouts. In our current setup, we have a powerful charge pulse that blasts objects apart when they meet. A major addition to the grappling hook is the ability to attach multiple airlifters to any object in our game. At the press of a button, the player can disable all airlifters, sending objects crashing back down to the ground. The boosters are back, but this time you can fire them from the grappling hook to remotely and precisely place them wherever you want. Let's get creative and use a combination of the boosters and airlifters. For example, we've taken a crane and cargo container and turned them into a rocket-powered wrecking ball. As you know, everything in Just Cause is always driven by physics, but in Just Cause 4, we've given you freedom that you've never experienced before. Now, by adding more airlifters and changing the placement of the boosters, we've made something completely different out of the same shipping container. A makeshift Zeppelin. Now, let's jump right into the action and check out some of the more extreme parts of the open world. In this mission, Rico's pursuing a massive tornado as it weaves a path of destruction throughout the grasslands. And this is the Storm Chaser, the only vehicle that allows him to do so.
All right, let's see what this thing can do.
Thanks to Avalanche's new Apex engine, everything you see, as well as the trajectory of every spiraling object, is being calculated in real time.
Take the Storm Chaser and get out of here. I'll get the tornado back on track.
The Black Hand have taken over Solis's private airport. And to progress, Rico must take out the wind cannons that are holding the tornado at bay.
Adios.
The player can take out the wind cannons in any way they choose. Right now we're using the railgun, one of the many new weapons in the game. And all these new weapons have a secondary fire option. So in this case, the railgun can shoot a powerful beam of energy, and it can also deploy a drone that will fight alongside Rico. You can even use this drone as a grapple point to propel yourself into the air. For the next cannon, let's get more creative and use some new features of Rico's grappling hook. That's all we're going to show today. It's just a small glimpse of what to expect in Just Cause 4. And there's plenty more to come when you play yourself on December 4th.
No, not at all. But yeah, in general, what we focus on is giving players the ability to do the things that they want to do. And I think one of the highest compliments we got paid in the past was that if you think you can do it, you probably can. And when you do it, it looks good. So we really took that as the heart of a lot of our methodology going into this one.
So how does your team continue to craft these giant, massive open worlds that we just love playing in?
Well, we have the Apex engine. That's a kind of a new update here with Just Cause 4. That's given us certainly the physics horsepower that we need to be able to accomplish a game like this, have a tornado lifting 747s off the ground and breaking them into pieces. And then you can tether to it and all that.
Of course you can.
Yeah. Well,
yeah, absolutely.
Of course. Because. But, of course. If you haven't heard that one. Yeah. But, no, I forgot where I was going because I made a joke.
But the joke was worth it.
I know.
Worth it to interrupt your thought.
But ultimately, we took the engine, we massively upgraded it. We allow for physics interactions like we've never had before, and with that, we're allowed to do things that we've not been able to accomplish in the past.
I remember that's kind of a feeling that I think a lot of Just Cause fans had, especially in the second one. That first moment that you really get to see, this whole space is playable. And your transition between ground combat, aerial combat, driving, walking, diving, parachuting, all of it, the team at Avalanche just blended that all together perfectly. And that seems like that you guys are driving that and enhancing that for this one, right?
Oh, absolutely. One of the mottos at the studio is if you can see it, you can go there. And if you can go there, you can poke it. And if you poke it, it's going to react.
Did you engrave that in wood somewhere?
No, that is actually a motto for us.
I love it. Sign me up for that.
And so it was important that while you're doing that, if the experience that you want is to drive around, we want to make that experience excellent. We want the car handling and the helicopters to behave the way you want them to, and we want to load them up with weapons so you can blow things up. Because blowing things up is sort of at the heart of what we do.
Yeah, it's on Rico's business card. Blowing things up.
Yeah.
So what were some of the lessons that you learned from Just Cause 3 that you're bringing over to Just Cause 4?
Sure. In general, we watched a lot of players online. And that's kind of going into this era now. There's all these streamers and YouTubers and all that allow us to kind of see the way players are playing in a much bigger sample size. And so we used a lot of that, and then we also paid a lot of attention both to the reviews, but also the comments that we were seeing as we went. And the design team are a bunch of maniacs and actually built like a giant spreadsheet that aggregated and weighted all these different feedback points, and we identified what we felt were some of the biggest things.
Whoa!
And then also through just our own observation. So once we did that, we kind of, rested into saying, we need to give them more options. We need to give them more ways to interact with the world. Sometimes that's the grapple hook with all the new customization that comes with it, but it's also things like vehicles that do things that we've not been able to do in the past, like a forklift that can just flip things over, or a crane, magnet crane. And so we've really expanded almost everything we do and bring as much variety as possible. And that was one criticism we had, was it was kind of one world, one environment. Now you have 4 distinct biomes that all have very unique gameplay to themselves.
That's awesome. Creativity runs through in your development team.
Yeah.
I can't believe that spreadsheet story. That's ridiculous.
Yeah. No, you wouldn't believe the spreadsheet.
Yeah, I bet it took up a lot of space.
It was.
Tell me a little bit about the world progression. We were talking about that backstage, that's something that kind of has been in the Just Cause series to sort of make progress in the world and either take down a dictatorship or cause chaos. I mean, what does that system look like in Just Cause 4?
In Just Cause, so we had a system in Just Cause 3 where you...
I'm just
Welcome to Just Cause 4 and the return of Rico Rodriguez, a rogue agent on a mission that'll challenge everything and everyone he knows. Rico has arrived in the fictional South American country of Solis, the largest and most breathtaking world we've ever created. Every journey into Solis will uncover history, secrets, and danger. Never before has a Just Cause game offered greater variety, rich in all forms of life. At first glance, Solis is a beautiful location, but scratch the surface and you will uncover oppression, fear, and violence, all enforced by Gabriella, the leader of the private militia organization, the Black Hand. Just Cause 4 takes destruction and physics simulation to a whole new level with the introduction of extreme weather. Experience towering tornadoes that can tear trees from the ground and level bridges to sticks. Awesome forked lightning, unpredictable and deadly sandstorms, and roaring blizzards. Witness the spectacular destruction as they offer both a challenge to Rico, as well as creating fun opportunities for creative sandbox gameplay. Our vehicles have been totally overhauled with new additions that offer extra gameplay opportunities. Bulldozers, car transporters, cranes, and even wrecking balls are all fun in our world. We have new handling on bikes and cars, as well as exotic vehicles like jet skis and microjets.